Alrighty, very excited. I was able to accomplish a noob mechanical job, but I'm a noob mechanic. I hesitate to even call myself a mechanic. But I needed to change my oil pressure sender because my oil pressure gauge was pegged to always full. So I followed the directions that we got in Renlist to check it by creating I guess it's called a piggyback wire. I think I'll grab that over here just to show you. And when I attach this wire right here to the various pins on this old puppy, and I had the gauge bouncing back and forth. So I know the wires are good. And when you look at the difference here, I got this from 928 Internet, or Rogers, what is it called? 928s RS, 928s RS. So he sent me this. Looks great, looks absolutely identical to the one that I pulled off, and as you can see, it's just old and dirty, and I mean, obviously the hope is that it is in fact this issue and not some sort of sneaky wire issue. But just looking at that thing, it definitely looks old, for sure. So what I'm going to do is, and I was able to take this off by getting these thin wrenches that I'll show you in just a sec off of Amazon for about, in Canada here, for about, I think it was 30 bucks a wrench. And I only had to take off the oil filter. So this is the new one, but I did not have to remove the alternator in order to get this thing off. So this is, we're working on an 89 RAL. And yeah, so I'm going to be attaching this back on. Came with the ring when you ordered it, and that is about it. The one thing I didn't get when I ordered from 928s RS is a new crush ring for the oil pan plug. So I'm going to put in the original one, and then I guess just evaluate from there and see if I've got any leaks. But interesting that it's a plastic one, not a rubber. I don't know, it's interesting. But looks in, decent enough condition, no cracks, still pretty sharp, so hopefully that'll just do the trick. So I'm not going to film the installation of this, because I feel like no one's going to be as noob as me looking at this thing here, but I put some oil on the top there, and then I topped up the filter with some oil as well, but not too much, because I hear just based on the angle of the install, you don't want to drip it all over yourself. And the tool that I'm using is this. It just fits on the very bottom over here, and then you just use a socket wrench to turn it and tighten. So I'll start with just a hand tighten and go from there, and again, don't over tighten it so you don't strip your bolts, I guess. And that's it. So what we're looking at here, I just kind of roughly marked which wires which, so I can connect back on the oil pressure sender with the correct wires, the correct place. Just put some tape on and mark, M and I think it was MK, and then obviously the third one's just going to be the ground. That's where you can see, that's right where the oil filter goes, and that where it's dripping right there, that's where the oil pressure sender goes. So clean off that and let that probably drip out for maybe a minute or two more. I know it's not mission critical to wait, but I'll show you the wrench that I used as well to turn it on. And I bet it was more or less like hand tight kind of thing. So probably a little bit tighter than hand tight, but it definitely wasn't. Once you had the tool, it was easy enough to pull off. Same thing with the oil filter, actually. It says in the instructions to turn it to hand tight, and I guess a quarter turn past hand tight, but man, I could not get that off without a tool. And I'll show you which one I used when I put it back on. So as you can see, the wrench is just at the top there. I didn't counter hold it. There's two wrenches that they suggested to buy. I was just very slow and very deliberate on what I was doing. Obviously you don't want to loosen that top plate there, I'm imagining, right above the wrench, but the oil pressure sender came off very easily once I had the wrench in this position. You can see there's just enough clearance there between next to that black bracket and you can bend the wrench down just a touch to give it some angle to move it past. So I'm just going to go ahead and tighten this a touch, and then we're done. Connect up the wires.